Hello, hello, beautiful ones. How are we doing? Now, my internet's looking a bit dodgy, and it was fine before I went live, but we're going to see how we get on. We are going to put our faith in the universe, and we're going to hope it's going to be fine. So bear with me while I find the video, pin it to the top. So you can all find me, and you can all see the video. So first of all, welcome to another Inner Glow session. This is officially the last one of 2024. We've only had a few this year. It only started in December, maybe November, can't quite remember. But I hope you have enjoyed these Thursdays together. And today I will be sharing the final winner of this year's gift giveaway. So for those of you that don't remember, this is the prize for this week. We have got this beautiful little moon and star bag, and inside you have these beautiful, they're all tangled, bear with, these beautiful witch bells when I can get them out, and they are all tangled up, but hopefully they'll be untangled by the time they get to the winner. Before I untangle them, so you've got these beautiful moon and stars here. You have got these gorgeous little bottles that you can put your intentions for the year in, and I've actually ordered myself one of these too. After this arrived, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. I actually want one for the office. So I've ordered myself some of these witch bells too. And so I'll be revealing the winner of those at the end of today. And so I was thinking about what to share with you today. And I thought we're only a couple of days away from the winter solstice. So the longest night, the shortest day. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I've been using this time, these longer nights, to really kind of turn inward. I've been doing a lot of ritual, a lot of ceremony, a lot of journaling, a lot of unpacking of this year. So what were the lessons? What were the things that worked out, and why did they work out? And what were the things that didn't work out, and why didn't they work out? And asking those questions that often we don't want to look at, because it means we've got to take responsibility, right? When we start asking ourselves those tough questions, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, and it can mean we've got to own up to things, and it can mean that we've got to shy away from blaming others and blaming circumstance, and it takes all of that away, and all we're left with is the raw, honest truth of ourselves. Now, it can be really uncomfortable, but it is also super empowering, and that inner work for me is one of the quickest ways I know to get my power back. So when I'm feeling in that victim-y energy, or when I'm feeling like life is happening to me, when I feel myself feeling, oh, poor me, that poor me energy, we can all do it, then that inner work is a great way that we can flip that. But we also need to do that in a way so that we don't come away feeling battered and bruised. This isn't an opportunity to just lay into yourself, but an opportunity to look at it with kindness and compassion, and examine those different parts of us and what they want and what they desire. And all of that information is so useful in going into a new year. So what I wanted to share with you today is, I wanted to guide you through a practice to allow you to turn that view on yourself, to allow you to start examining, unpacking. I know we do a lot of this together, but I genuinely believe it is some of the deepest medicine you will ever find. And we're going to do some energetic work as well, so that we can refuel our power energetically, so that we have that capacity to look at some of the things perhaps we don't want to. So the winter solstice, for me, we can look at this so many different ways, right? It's for those of us that have a pagan path or pagan lineage, it's, you know, the battle of the holly and the oak king, and that time where, you know, this is where the oak king takes over. But I also like the analogy of this being that kind of aligned to that crone energy. So these darker nights, for those of you that aren't familiar with the crone energy in a woman's life, it's that stage once the children have moved on, if we've had children, or our desire to make a difference, you know, create a home, those kind of, we have that middle of our life, which is often really busy, raising children, having a career. And then there's this final stage of our life, which is when that crone energy really comes into her own. And it's where we have taken all the lessons from our lifetime and we use it to create a life that really fulfills us, really fulfills our soul. And so I think this is a beautiful thing to consider as we go into the winter solstice. We can use that crone energy to tap into, while we've got all our other responsibilities going on, and what do I need? What does my soul need? What does my body need? What do I want to see more of in my life? What do I want to say no to in my life? What have I had enough of? What do I need to let go of? And being quite unapologetic about that. This isn't about, you know, feeling like we have to justify it, or feeling like we have to have a good reason, or, you know, worrying about everyone else and what they will think of it or what judgments they will place on it. The crone energy is unapologetic, and it's no, that's what I need, end of. So I'm going to incorporate that into our practice a bit today so that we can really step into that unapologetic energy, which I think as women we need more than ever, because we spend our whole lives, right, being told who we should be, what we should do, what kind of person we should be, what's okay, what's not okay, what's acceptable, the fact we should put everyone else first. This practice is for you. And it's about you really understanding what you need on a soul level. So I invite you to get comfy, get cozy. You will need your journal, I should say. So you will need pen and paper halfway through this. So I'll give you a moment to just get that in case you haven't already. While I do that, I'm just going to have a look at your comments. Fran, gorgeous. How are you? Lovely. I hope you are having a beautiful December. Oh, I've come off the video again. Louise, you need energy. Never felt so exhausted. Could be that kind of that lack of sunlight that we've got going on. It can be quite exhausting. I keep going off the comments. Sorry, bear with. How have I done that? There we go. You so need this today. Okay. Well, hopefully this will be a really useful practice for you to come back to time and time again, and also perhaps revisit on the winter solstice. So I'm going to presume you've got your paper and pen, and I invite you to initially just close your eyes and bring your attention to that breath in the belly. So that gentle rise and fall. And you can place a hand there. You can place a hand on that lower abdomen. And we're just going to use that natural rhythm to relax us, to bring us back to the now, till there's nothing left but you and the breath. And what I also invite you to do is imagine that at the base of your spine, you have roots that are growing, but they're growing down and they're getting longer and moving through the floors beneath you. These roots have the ability to grow through the foundations of your house. They're unrelenting, moving all the way down, even if you live in a block of flats. Somehow they manage to make it all the way down into the nourishing soil of the earth. And I invite you to imagine that those roots are growing strong and deep into that earth. And the deeper those roots move down, the more nutrition they have available to them. And I invite you to use that breath that we just became acquainted with in this moment. Use that breath to draw up those nutrients from Mother Earth on the in-breath. Feel that energy moving up that root system into the body. And on the out-breath, we're just releasing any tightness, any tension, any stress the body might be holding. On the in-breath, breathing in that nourishment from Mother Earth. And on the out-breath, we're releasing any guilt or shame that we might be holding on to. Allowing that to travel through that root system. Allowing it to be alchemized by the earth. And breathing in that nurturing energy of Mother Earth. And on the exhale, we're releasing anything that's working against us in this moment. Just allow that to be transferred over to the earth beneath you. And again, breathing in that beautiful grounding energy of Mother Earth. Allow it to travel up that root system and move through the whole of your body. And on the exhale, we're releasing all the shoulds, all the musts, all the things that we feel we have to do, despite the fact we have no desire to do them. And we're breathing in that power of Mother Earth, her abundance, her beauty. Breathing in that energy, allowing it to travel up the root system, into the body. Allow it to merge with every cell of your being. And we're releasing all the times we were told we were not enough or too much. Letting that go, allowing it to be absorbed by the earth. And we're breathing in that earth energy, that ability to grow, that ability to evolve, allowing that power to move up through the root system on the inhale. And we're letting go of the need to be perfect. If that part of us that feels we're not allowed to make mistakes, that we're not allowed to learn. Allow that perfectionism to just move down into those roots and be taken away by Mother Earth. And continuing this process at your own pace for a minute or two, breathing in that which we need, releasing that which we don't. Breathing in nurturing, kindness, compassion, releasing the self-judgment and criticism that you might be piling on yourself. Allow the earth to take that away. Breathing in that self-belief, that self-acceptance, and releasing any internal conflicts you have going on right now. And give yourself a moment just to notice how your body, your mind, your emotional body, how these elements of you feel right now. And I invite you to place a hand on your heart space. And I invite you to see if you can identify within you that voice of wisdom. Or maybe it's a knowing, maybe it's not a voice. Maybe you see it as a person or a face. But that part of you that knows exactly what you need. That part of you that knows exactly who she is. I invite you to allow her to step forward right now. This inner guide, this inner wise woman. And we're going to use this as an opportunity to communicate with her. And initially asking this part of you, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? And allow the answers to come to you however that happens for you. Maybe you hear answers, maybe you just feel answers, maybe you get a sense, maybe you see pictures, maybe you see a symbol. What do you need right now? And we're not grasping for answers here. We're just leaving space for them to emerge. What do you need right now? And next, asking, what in my life is currently draining my energy? What in my life is currently draining my energy? What in my life is currently draining my energy? And if you have no answers emerge, no, that's absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong around this. The next question, what do I desire to add to my life to lift my energy? What do I desire to add to my life to lift my energy? What do I desire to add to my life to lift my energy? The next question is, what stokes my inner fire? What stokes my inner fire? What gets that inner Agni going? What ignites your passions? And the next question is, what dampens down that fire? What starts to make that fire extinguish? And I invite you now to pick up your notebook and pen. I'm just grabbing mine. And we're going to continue with this theme of fire from an Ayurvedic point of view. we have this fire within us, our ability to transform our passions, our desires, that fiery nature that's within all of us. It's our ability to digest. It's our ability to take one thing, transform it into something we need, and release that which we don't. And I invite you oh, there's my pen. I invite you to create, and you can do this prettier than I have, but a little column down the center with little headers either side. And I invite you to put on one side dampeners. Dampeners. I'm not sure if that's a real word, but we're going with it. Dampeners. And on the other side, we're putting stokers. And we really want to feel into this before we set our intentions for 2025, before we start setting our goals, before we start dreaming and visualizing and stepping into the next version of us. This is so important in terms of us making sure we get what we need along every step of those journeys. Is an awareness of what actually dampens down my fire. And what I would invite you to do is be really honest about this, right? Because the truth is there's going to be things that are going to come up for you that you might hold some judgment against. So perhaps you were told as a child that thing wasn't a good thing, or you were led to believe doing that thing was rude, or, try and park all of that for the moment and see if you can just be really honest with yourself. What actually takes away that fire within you? What actually leads to it feeling, oh, the fire's gone, the energy's gone, the power's gone? And some of these things will be inside of your control and some of them won't be, and both are welcome. So it's not about finding one thing, as many things as possible. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that, and I'm going to do it myself. So what dampens down your fire, we're going to start with. And what I would say is think about this truly holistically, right? We're all for holistic health. So we can think about things like our diet, how we're moving our body, if we're moving our body, the sort of things we're taking into our mind, the things we're not taking into our mind. So you might find, for example, one thing for me that I know really sparks my inner fire is reading about topics or listening to podcasts about topics that really interest me and spark my imagination. What doesn't is scrolling on Facebook 9 times out of 10. And unless, I come across a particular teacher or post or something, but the majority of the time, if I'm honest, those things don't stoke my fire. Okay. But it might also be, I'm aware I'm explaining when you might be writing, but mute me if you need to. But it's also that internal stuff as well, right? I know that my inner fire is dampened when my inner voice of reason comes in and tells me to start being realistic. When it comes in and starts telling me to be reasonable, when it starts telling me to be logical, when that part of me brings up everything I've ever done wrong in my life, when it starts criticizing me, those things dampen my fire. Okay. It's not always what you imagine as well. And allow those things to come through too. if you get lost at any point, feel free to just place your hand back on that heart space. What dampens my fire? Asking that inner wise woman. Some of the things that are coming up for me are making me laugh, I have to admit. I'll share a couple of these in case it inspires you. Surprisingly, too much free time actually dampens my fire. Um, Another thing that came up for me was adult tasks. I'm going to dive into this afterwards because there's obviously something there I need to unpack. Adult tasks, by which I mean things like renewing insurance. That's a quick way to dampen my fire. About another minute on this side of your dampeners. And you can include emotional states here as well. It's useful to understand yourself on that level as well. And then moving over to the other column now. What are those things that stoke your fire? What gets you up in the mornings? What are those things that when you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, I've got that today, it just gets you out of bed? What, or perhaps it's a dream or person that you spend time with, or an activity you love to do, or an inner state, a particular archetype that you embody. Let your imagination run wild. What adds fuel to your fire? I can feel a smile coming on my face. I'm writing these down. And about another minute on that one. Again, remember to think about the physical level as well. So is there particular foods or movements or practices that really make a difference to how that fire feels within you? Now, I invite you to close your eyes again and come back to that heart space. And just give yourself a minute to digest all that came up for you there. And there might be some things that you want to spend less time on next year. There may be some things you want to let go of. There may be some boundaries you need to put in place to allow you to maintain your power and energy. And there may be more things that you want to say yes to, that you want to make more time for, that you want to prioritize so that you can feel full and excited and vibrant and energized. And I invite you to use all of that information that you've uncovered to create a little promise for yourself or a little intention that you can plant in your heart, like a little seed that you're planting this winter solstice. And that's going to bloom into the most beautiful plant, the most beautiful life this year. What promise are you making to yourself to allow your fire to be full and vibrant? And when you feel like you've planted that like little seed in that heart space, I invite you to imagine in your mind's eye what that might look like on a day-to-day basis. How might your days unfold? What do you do with your time? What's no longer a part of your day or has been outsourced to someone else? What things are you now making more room for, more space for, without judgment, without apology? And for some of you, you may see this in pictures. For others, it may be a feeling, a sense, an energy, a knowing. There's no right or wrong around this. But allow yourself to embody that version of you now. That version of you that's already living it. That version of you that's already got this balance right. That isn't led by the shoulds or the musts, but by the things that she gets to do. And you may notice that inner fire within you begins to burn a little bit brighter, a little bit stronger. You might feel a little bit warmer. You may feel that light inside you growing a little bit brighter. And seeing if you can allow that light to now radiate. Allow that light to move into every cell of your being. Until you feel almost a glow coming from you. That inner radiance begins to shine through. Allowing you to be the light on the longest night. And before we finish, you can take a little moment to ask this inner wise woman if there's anything you need to know as you step into 2025. Is there anything you need to know ahead of this year? And allow those answers to come to you. Feel ready. Gently opening your eyes. Coming back into this space. Now, the winter solstice is a beautiful time for setting your intentions. Maybe for the whole year, maybe between now and the summer solstice. That can be a nice kind of span of time. And I invite you to write your intention down. Maybe keep it in a little box. For those of you that are Reiki trained, that can go inside your Reiki box where you give your Reiki every morning. Or it might be like in the little bottles, like at the little bottles that we've got on the witch bells. Maybe you want to have a little bottle that you can put it in, but somewhere that you can like open it up in, say, 6 months' time and go, did I live that intention? And it might be a bit of a yes and a bit of a no, who knows? But that isn't about, setting these lofty goals that you're going to beat yourself up with, but these little seeds of intention can subconsciously lead us to change our actions stepping into this new year. I hope that practice uncovered some things for you. I would love to know what came through for you if anyone wants to share. Let me just check in with comments. Bear with. I have. Oh dear, me and these comments aren't very good. Tam, lovely. Oh, I've just lost it again. Tam, beautiful. I saw your name. Oh, you're definitely going to catch up on it later. Awesome. So I hope you uncovered some wisdom around what stokes your fire, what dampens it, and have come up with a beautiful intention to take into 2025 so that you can truly own that power, be the light in the darkness for yourself. I'm not necessarily talking about for other people because we have to be our own light first. But I hope that gave you some food for thought and some beautiful things came through for you. But before we wrap up our inner glow sessions for this year, I need to draw the winner of, so for those of you that don't know, I should say, so the names in here are the people that have been kind enough to share last week's video. Thank you so much. It helps me get the word out. I really do appreciate it. And for those of you that do that, your name goes into, not really a hat, a bowl, ready for to win the prize each week. Oh dear Lord, Holly, you're really struggling to put words together today. So without further ado, since I'm struggling to put sentences together, Fran, you love that. I'm so pleased, lovely. I hope it gave you some juicy insights into how to stoke your fire. There we go. So the winner for the prize this week is Louise Halford. Louise, lovely. Oh, there we go. You can vaguely see it if I do that. Congratulations. I think I've got your address. I'm pretty sure I've got your address. I will, yeah, you won't have moved, will you? You won't have moved in that short time that I have your address. So I will make sure that it's sent out to you. Congratulations, lovely. You have won the moon bag and the witch bells with those little bottles that you can put your intentions in for 2025, hopefully. And perhaps one of them you can use for your intention to keep your fire burning bright. I would love to hear how you find them, whether you use them. All right, lovelies, I am going to love you and leave you. I'm wishing you a beautiful solstice, wishing you a gorgeous Christmas for those of you that celebrate, or Yule, or what else is on at this time of year? Have we missed? I think we've missed most of the other ones. But what was I going to say? No, it's gone. But I think I was going to say, but I will see you in the new year. I will be publishing soon the dates for January for you to come join us. I think it's not the first week, the second week in January. We will be back here. We will be looking at all the things you need to know in order to look after yourself truly holistically, using a variety of different methods. My background, for those of you that don't know, I'm a Reiki master, meditation teacher, but also I'm an Ayurvedic health coach. So I specialize in the energetics of herbs. I specialize in the energetics of food, as well as movement and exercise. And far more than that, Ayurveda covers the energy of life and circumstances. It's an amazing modality that's completely transformed my life. And it's why I'm so passionate about sharing it with other people and supporting my clients to do the same. So if you're interested in any of that, message me. I would love to tell you more about it and how I might be able to support you. Otherwise, you are very welcome to join us in the membership. Actually, I should tell you about that, because we have got, we are going to be doing a divination session for 2025, which will be coming up at the end of this month. If you want to join us for that, you can claim your free trial to the membership. I can put a link in the comments afterwards. That's probably the easiest way to do that. Otherwise, I will love you and leave you, wishing you a gorgeous, gorgeous time ahead. And if you need anything, reach out. Take care.